Well, of course, the countless millions who never get as near to the moon as you've done, Patrick, follow the doings of the moon and other celestial objects through your books and your television programs. The Sky at Night's just coming up to its 25th anniversary. What do people mainly look at in your experience? What's the most interesting object that the amateur astronomer looks like? Is it the moon still?
Well, of course, I'm not a fair subject because the moon always has been my particular interest, and you can see far more on the moon than you can anything else. Incidentally, there's a lovely story I remember. I don't know whether you remember this or not, but a few years ago now, I was asked to go and give a talk about the moon to a slightly hush-hush Air Force establishment somewhere in the Midlands, and I went down to lecture about the moon. And I got there to give my talk about the moon, and there, sitting in the front row, was General Tom Stafford. Because he'd been within a few feet of the moon and I happened. It was not one of my best lectures.
He was intimidated. Is this country a good place to look at the moon from?
No, rotten. Frankly, Britain is just not a good place for the astronomer at all. Lunar, stellar, planetary, or anything else. And that's why the main telescope at Westminster, the 19-inch Isaac Newton telescope, has been shifted down to La Palma in the Canary Islands. This is just not a good climate. It's all right for radio astronomy at the moment, but as Sir Bernard Lovell said the other day, we're having a crisis there because there's now so much artificial interference that radio astronomy may become impossible from the Earth in a few years unless something is done.
Isn't it a fact, though, that in order to get the money, in order to set up these beautiful explorations of space, you've got to keep the electorate consistently on the edge of their seats so that they will vote Congress the money, or Congress will vote money. And so therefore a lot of it is show business. We've got to think of something new to capture the public's imagination.
Patrick?
Well, the point I have here, and I'm sure you'll agree with me on this, is that when you consider the amount of money that's been spent on space research, by national standards, it's absolute peanuts. Very little, really, by national budget. Not nearly so much as is spent on military intelligence alone, for example. And the benefits of space research have already been tremendous. We heard about some of them this morning, and there are plenty of others. So when people complain about the amount of money spent on space research, they really haven't done their homework, you know.
That's a very important point. People said, what is the importance of space? What about all the money we're throwing out there? Really, I can see is what I would call the bottom line. The real benefit of space is to coming back and help solve the problems right here on the Earth. And that's what we're finally starting to do with all the capital investment we have put out there. In so many ways, as you know very well, communications. Communications to start with, weather forecasting, Earth resources. We can now catalog all the wheat crops in the world just instantly within a few days to determine, what will be a shortfall. How do we overcome this to help starvation?
Medical research, too.
Medical research is fantastic.
I'd like to go on with this discussion for a lot longer, but alas, we can't because our time is up. Thank you all for joining us. Starting the week with us today have been Dilys Powell, Mark Shivers, General Tom Stafford and Patrick Moore, with Bernard Falk and Kenneth Robinson. More of the same kind of thing next Monday, but just for the moment. Goodbye.